Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dota Yoshi, bringing to you another Dota 2 presentation, and today we will be having a best of 3 show match between Sequential eSports and Phoenix eSports. Sequential eSports used to be once known as Noxious Gaming. They are now rebranded under Sequential eSports, and they will be up against Phoenix eSports, who will be a new up-and-coming team onto the scene. We'll see how they go. You wish them all the best of luck. See how they go up against one of the higher ranked teams on the cyber gamer ladder. So far the bans for Phoenix eSports have been Lifestealer, Shadow Demon, and they've picked up Magnus at Jakira, and looking to pick up their third. Over on Sequential eSports we have Nyx Assassin, Rubik being selected with Lone Druid and Batrider as their bans. So Phoenix eSports have that fantastic initiation of that Magnus. They pick up the Jakira too, who's got a fantastic ice wall, and the Gyrocopter, is fantastic through mid game. He's got a really good burst during the beginning, and he can carry the game late. Over in Sequential eSports, we have the Nyx Assassin. Will be running that tri-lane support role with that Rubik, and Queen of Pain will be run mid. One of the best, if not the best mid hero in the game at the moment, as she can control the runes quite easily with that blink, clean the wave up, move out to the rune, grab the rune, you're back in for the next wave. So Queen of Pain's got fantastic move, what's it called? It's quite agile around the map. So she can get from one place to the other and back again without missing a single XP. Her ganking potential is fantastic with that Sonic Wave and Scream of Pain, unless she wants to level up that Shadow Strike for that slow. Either way you want to run in that Queen of Pain, she's a fantastic hero with that pickup. The Rubik will start, he's got a lot of spells he could potentially steal in this game. He's got that Ice Wall, he's got Macropire, he's got that RP. You'll be looking to see him sit behind in every team fight, waiting to pick off that RP. If he can grab that RP, Phoenix eSports are in a load of trouble. And he's also can pick up that cooldown. Cooldown's fantastic AoE ability. Nyx Assassin, stun fantastic, and the gaming roaming nature of Nyx Assassin is great. Once he hits that level 6 with that Vendetta, if he hits that level 6 within reasonable time, start looking at him rotate around the map. Start picking off those heroes, helping out other lanes, if not his own. Fantastic hero all around through the game until about the 30-minute mark. He will start to fall off as he will start to become underfarmed. He won't have that level 3 Vendetta, and everyone will just be able to take that Vendetta without a problem. But his Mana Burn and that Impale are fantastic throughout the entire game, destroying any hero's mana pool, and that stun, if you can land on 2, even 3, you've more than worth paid off for your team fight. On Phoenix eSports they have that Magnus. Magnus fantastic all around here with the initiation of that RP. You grab 3, 4, even 5 heroes. If you hit that 5 heroes, you'll win the team fight. Especially if the Jakira Ice Path and the Gyrocopter cooldown to follow it up. That's more stun and a lot of burst. So the bans from either side have been the Darkseer, Phantom Lancer, Anti-Mage, and on Sequential eSports have been the Lina, Keeper of the Light, and the Bane. So Sequential eSports, we're looking at banning off any further supports to go with that Jakiro pickup. Getting rid of that Coddle. Coddle's fantastic with his Illuminate, being able to go through and constant harass, constant lane control. There's no way you can go up against a Coddle most of the time unless you do. You knock him out once with a kill or two, and then Coddle is just afraid. He won't be casting too much out. But he has been banned out, and Phoenix eSports do pick up that Clockwork. Fantastic off-lane hero, and I've said fantastic one too many times. I just love these heroes. No PL. You have to be happy about that. So the Clockwork has been picked up. His Cogs great at keeping heroes off the lane, being able to keep him in the lane and reduces his gank ability. Cogs is one of the best spells to make sure you don't die. It's like almost as good as an invis, if not better, because you do Mana Burn, you can use it to harass the enemy or opposing players in that lane, and it'll just Mana Burn, do damage, and then keep them off from those last hit of those creeps. It's also great in the off lane as you can hold your creeps steady and then bring the creeps on the initial waves and following waves closer to your tower, so you can hold the lane if that creep pool camp has been warded. We see the Alchemist being picked up by Sequential eSports, so they will be looking to try and have a lot of good ganking potential mid-game and roll into the late game and snowball with that Alchemist. They will be also looking to pick up their final carry hero part of that. Or, no, they'll be looking for an off-lane hero, my mistake, for the next pickup. They'll be looking for an off-lane hero. Over on Phoenix eSports, they're trying to think of what final support hero they do want to pick up. Who they want to go. Bane hasn't been the favoured choice these days in the recent matches. However, Bane's always been picked up to counter a Lifestealer. Lifestealer is usually not in this pool. You may also want to pick up that Bane to go against that Alchemist. It will slow down his damage, and if he's hidden, it will greatly reduce Alchemist damage with that Enfeeble on top of Alchemist's Chemical Rage. That's the one. They do have a pickup Disruptor. I'm inclined to see how well this goes. I'm really interested. Disruptor, you haven't seen too much play, but he's fantastic. You have one of the best abilities in the game of that glimpse. Someone TP's in, you take him straight out of the fight. You've reduced the numbers. You've reduced the potential for Sequential eSports to feel safe on their towers. He's got that great wall to hold people in, and he's got a silence that's just does a lot of damage, great silence. But he's a completely positional hero. If he's out of position himself, he will get killed. However, if anyone else on Sequential Gaming was out of position, he will put them out of position. So look for Disruptor and some very good time ganks come out with him. So if anyone on Sequential eSports are lagging behind a bit, they will be put even further behind, caught off guard, and they will be killed. And we do see the final pickup of that Weaver. We'll most likely be seeing that Weaver played in that offlane role. He can play that offlane, and he's going to be able to pick up some gold and XP, unless Shakiro or the Disruptor pick up some sentries and just hold Weaver off. And Weaver's got to be extremely careful, especially with a glimpse, put Weaver in a whole world of trouble. So, as we head into the game, once the final member of Sequential Gaming picks their hero, there we go. I'll introduce the teams. On Sequential eSports, we have the captaincy role on the Alchemist being played by Warax. On that, Nick's Assassin will be RNC, followed by his fellow support, Mr. Black on the Rubik. On that, Queen of Pain in mid, we have Scribe. And finally, we have Mr. Quaid. Will be played on that top lane position. And they're pinging like crazy. They want a group up, I believe. Oh no, they're just not going to. And there's going to have a rocket come flying out by the Clockwork to scout who's going where, so they know the Weaver is rotating top. Now, on the side of Phoenix eSports, we have the captain being played by, on that Disruptor, by Cauldronic. I hope I said your name right. On that Magnus, who will be in that mid position, Captain Kirk. The supports will be... following the captain on support, I should say. Nota. Hopefully it's Nota. Be played on that Jakiro. On the carry Gyrocopter, we will have Streamline. And finally, playing that Clockwork will be Holt. So, now we've got to pause. Got to have a pause on every start of every game. It's just not an official Dota match without it. So, just a little bit of talk about a little bit of wait we had to wait at the start of the game. So, Sequential Gaming will be looking at going hidden mid timing where they will start to pick off a lot of kills, especially once Queen of Pain starts getting her Sonic Wave, and even when it hits level 2, she'll be even that much more effective. They'll be looking for a mid-time push to get the snowball start running for this Alchemist. Once Alchemist picks up whatever he decides to go for, sometimes you see the Hand of Midas, other times you will see the Radiance, if they've got a good enough farm, Battle Fury. So Alchemist has, as of late, been quite varied compared to most carry heroes these days, which has a standardized cookie cutter build. Alchemist is a bit over the place because you can pick up 1 or 2 items depending on what kind of farm you have and how you want to play the game. So we waiting to see how late or mid game they want to try and hit this Alchemist to start that steamroll. Phoenix Gaming, they've got the lineup where they want to hit in the early to mid game. They have the Magnus once he hits level 6. That's when you want to start grouping up and go for these towers. Jakiro is fantastic for taking down these towers if you do pick up that Liquid Fire. Gyrocopter can clean those waves up, and if this game does go mid, Gyrocopter still can fight in this mid game. Up against the Alchemist, it will be a bit iffy. If he's one-on-one, the Alchemist should theoretically win the fight. However, if it's in a team fight, Gyrocopter should be able to take out the entire team of Sequential Gaming with great positioning and great skills coming out and by his fellow teammates. It's going to be an interesting game, but they do have their own little styles. So if Phoenix do trying to hit hard and fast early. They should be able to get a few towers down depending on how they want to skill these builds and how the lineups do go. And now now the game starts. We have the gyrocopter rotating, so they're rotating their tri-lane up top. They don't want to go tri-lane against tri-lane. They don't believe they have it right, or they're looking for a kill down into the enemy forest, which they're not going to find. And there's going to be a wraparound from Mr. Black and RNC on their supports, trying to find this Clockwork. Clockwork doesn't have those cloaks. He got Rocket at the start, so we have a dead Clockwork here. He can't get out of here. There's no way. They've got to lift up, following the stone. It's going to lift him back. Final auto attacks, trying to go to this Alchemist. This Noxious assassin might have to take it. No, it will go to the Rubik. So first blood going the way of Sequential eSports, because that Clockwork did not have those cogs early game, and Sequential Gaming knew that, so they took advantage of the wraparound, as well as there's no ward vision currently on the side of Phoenix Gaming. I believe they may have had a ward there. No, Gyrocopter still got that other observer ward, so it's going to be a hard time for this Clockwork to be able to get that level 2 now that he's in this lane. Sequential Gaming do have that aggressive ward, watching any movement from this Clockwork. If Clockwork decides to walk back down, you possibly see another rotation from these two heroes of the Rubik and the Nyx Assassin coming around to hit him again. He's starting to move up. Do we see the rotation out by the supports? Now they're just going to play a bit defensively. Rubik's on a double stack, looking forward to start. He's got an Alpha Wolf, so any wave that they do once they get that double stack is going to be quite effective down bottom. Over on the top lane though, we have the Jakiro, only single pulling, so there's going to be 1.5 creep waves pushing towards the tower for this Weaver. So Weaver's going to be able to get a fair bit of levels and stay fairly safe, especially since there is no counter wards on Phoenix's side, which is definitely questionable. If you're up against the Weaver and you know it, you need Revelation wards. You need them in the lane, and you need to be able to harass this Weaver out. At the moment, Quaid is harassing Cauldronic out of this lane, which is not what you want to be seeing. You might even get a kill if this Disruptor is not playing too careful. But Quaid's got to rotate back, get this XP up, going to salve himself up, and he's going to be hitting those levels. So Weaver at the moment doing fairly good, only because Phoenix is making a slight blunder. Once again, another single pull. There's no secondary pull coming from pulling this creep camp up, and there's no double stacks. So they're just creating more and more creeps pushing towards this tower, and Weaver's going to have a fairly safe farm on his tower. When you look at his counterpart against that Clockwork, Clockwork's level 2, he doesn't even have a single creep kill up against 6 for 3 of that Weaver. And there's pings coming out. They're thinking about going him. And we have Clockwork rotating up. He's going to be in very big trouble at the moment. They're rotating in behind. He sees him. There's a lift. There's going to be an Impale come out. The cocktail has not started to be brought up yet, and they're not going to do it. This Alchemist is, once he's Goblin's Gold. Grievelin's Greed. Blah. So maybe a miscommunication, or Alchemist just wanted to farm. They should have had a kill on that right there. Even with those cogs up, the Alchemist's stun would have been a fairly hefty stun. It's level 2, max stun 2.5 and 220 damage. Negate magic armor, that's about 180. So this Clockwork gets a get out of jail free card on that bottom lane. Over on top lane, there has now been counter wards placed. So this Disruptor will start harassing this Weaver. Weaver does not have that time lapse. He's going to turn around and bring the harassment back to the Disruptor. No Gyrocopter there to help him out. So the support of Phoenix Gaming need to start double stacking down on bottom lane. We do have a lift up in the air, Impale coming through. We do this time have a cocktail being stunned, but can he get in range? He's out of range. He's going to stun himself, and Clockwork will get away. This is one of the biggest reasons why you choose a Clockwork. Having those cogs at level 1, but in this case level 2, completely foils any ganks. Nyx Assassin got hit back by those cogs, might have burned, took damage, and now he's basically out of everything. And on bottom lane here, we do have an initiation on the river. Queen of Pain blinking in, got to scream and kill off that Magnus. So Magnus did get that rune, but he didn't have the chance to bottom up, as Queen of Pain did come after him. So good play by Scribe in mid lane, being able to take off that Magnus. Magnus just being caught out of position, and probably should have bottle crowed if he was at that low health, as it seemed he was. And then we're going to see a Cogs come out in a timely fashion, stopping that Impale, pushing that Alchemist back off that lane. Up at top lane, we haven't seen any aggression coming out from these supports against this Weaver. Weaver's still sitting back, he's sitting off the lane, which is what you want to see now that there is a revelation here. But if this came out a lot earlier, Weaver would be on a much lower level and creep XP. He's now picked up his Ring of Aquila, and that's all he's got. So he's not having the best of times, but that's what you expect on offlane. But he's having better than what you would expect from most offlanes. As you can see from this clockwork, who is that? Almost level 4, not quite. And now the creep wave has pushed up. Weaver will hit level 6 off another double pull. And now we see once again this hero single pulling. You need a double stack, or you need to pull around and get this camp. It's just not worthy. This is where you're giving Weaver this farm. You're giving him the levels. It's not what you want. You're letting him play safe. A second counter comes down, but the creep wave's going to be here, so Weaver's going to be in a pretty safe position. If anyone does try to get aggressive with him, the creeps will attack him, do a bit of damage, so he's taking more damage than what it's worth at the moment. And now the creeps will push in, and he's going to get all this XP. So it's a little bit of a blunder by the supports of Phoenix Gaming. And we do have a double stack down here on Sequential Gaming with that Alpha Wolf. So this is what you want. You want that double stack. And especially with that Alpha Wolf, it will just crit and destroy any creep wave you pull in. And they're going to go on this clockwork. Clockwork throws those cogs out. They're waiting around. He's been thrown outside of his cogs. Alchemist Stun comes flying through on the Alpha Cactus. We'll see an Impale very shortly. Impale hits 3, 4 more auto attacks, 2 more, 1 more. Okay, 2 more still with that high armor. Are they ever going to get it? Are they going to dive on 1 more auto attack? And they're going to get it on that Rubik. Alchemist probably could have picked it up, but they're making sure with that Rubik getting that final kill. So Rubik's sitting on 2-0. You want those on the Alchemist, but Alchemist is getting that farm anyway with his Greavlin's Gold. Greavlin's Greed. And that he's now got his Ring of Health, so he'll possibly be looking to work into that Battle Fury. So we're going to Battle Fury Alchemist, and he's going to be looking to go probably late mid-game to early late game. Weaver taking a fair bit of damage to that flat cannon of that Gyrocopter, pushing him out of the lane. If they're playing this aggressively and pulling 1.5 creep waves, they should be doing a lot more damage to this tower. It's only taking just under 300 damage. With all the amount of creeps that are coming in, they should have been able to put more pressure on this tower and do a lot more damage. There's pings coming up by the Gyrocopter. They're just checking to see if there's an observer ward around here. Not going to find one. So in mid lane we have a substantial win coming out by this Queen of Pain. 41 creep kills to 21 denies. Magnus sitting behind the farm on 16 for 3. You look at the net worth, Alchemist 3.2k, Queen of Pain 3.2k, and Gyrocopter on 2.3. So the gold graphs tells it all at the moment. Almost 4k gold advantage and 2k XP advantage. So Sequential Gaming taking quite an early lead, which is where you think Phoenix would be. This is where Phoenix would be, but Sequential Gaming's taken it themselves. So this is looking bad for Phoenix Gaming, as they had that more early game team, and they're being pressured hard by this more of a late start team. Even though they've got this Alchemist stun with this dual stunner support heroes, it's still not quite where you want to be at the moment. I would have liked to have seen a rotation from Disruptor and the hero to maybe rotate mid and try and find a kill on this Queen of Pain. Maybe even come bottom to try and help find a kill on the now 2 smoke supports of Sequential eSports, who now are rotating mid. Black will come up with the lift, come through with the Impale of the RNC, and we'll probably see a Sonic Wave being thrown out. We've got a dead Magnus very shortly. We're going to see the lift up. Is he going to be able to skew away? They're not going to be able to reach him. He's been Fog of Ward going up that hill. Nighttime vision, not allowing that vision up that hill. So, luckily for Captain Kirk, he dodges a bullet on that one. And the support's going to rotate down bottom. So back up the top lane, we have this Weaver sitting on level 8, and he's now putting the harass on the supports. He's not even caring what's going to happen to him. He's got his time lapse up and running. He's going to be working on picking up his power treads. So he's considering his lane, he's got a pretty good farm. Gyrocopter sitting on 41 for 9 up against the Alchemist of 51 for 10, and that's in Alchemist's favour. He's now got his broadsword. No, Claymore. My mistake. He's got his Claymore. And we'll be working towards that broadsword. Unless that's coming to him now. It's coming to him now. So that's a Battle Fury in 9.5 minutes. So he's going to be quite happy with that. His farm's going to possibly skyrocket if he continues to get these last hits with his level 4 Greavlin's Gold. So back in mid lane, we don't have those arcane boots currently quite up on Magnus. I'd like to see a TP on that Magnus in case if there was any dive on either side. Side's starting to die down a bit. The support's back to their jungle duty. The support's up top for Phoenix. Is he going to stack it? He's missed the stack time, and so he's going to rotate back down to try and hit this Weaver. We might see an Ice Path's going to miss. His The wall's gonna miss, and then Weaver's just gonna Sequential out of there. Then we got Magnus. Not sure where he wants to go. He was thinking about going top, but he's gonna rotate down bottom. If he was gonna go cops, Sequential Gaming do have a ward watching the movement of him. Clockwork still hasn't hit that level 6. Once he hits this level 6, I don't know. I would like to say he'd go roaming, but he's by himself at the moment, so he can't really leave the lane. That tower will fall to this alchemist. He can't really go top as the supports themselves are not trying to get those kills, not being aggressive. You have a glimpse level 3. You could catch the Weaver out of position earlier on in the game. These days you can't now. He's got the time lapse. So Weaver's virtually unkillable now in that top lane, especially with him getting all this creep experience from this constant push and creep waves on his tower. So Sequential Gaming playing a good game at the moment, being able to hold their lanes, trying to deny, and good few ganks up on this Clockwork. We have TP support going top as the dive was on the Weaver. Weaver's on 200 HP. He won't be able to time lapse any further damage from that. We got the cooldown coming through the sky. They're going to pick off the Weaver. They're going to pick off the Gyrocopter for exchange. Not the best choice. Now they're going to lose the Disruptor. So it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Sequential Game. They're going to be looking for this Gyrocopter. Jakiro, are they going to be able to pick up the Jakiro? No. The lift is on cooldown for another 4 seconds. So it's a 2-for-1 trade in Sequential Gaming, and they're going to be happy for that. Lose a Weaver for picking off their hard Jakiro, and in mid lane we have to dive on that Magnus from that Queen of Pain. So she dives past the tower. She's got her first stage of Oblivion stuff, working towards that Orchid Malevolence, now picking up her second one after that kill, and Magnus is going to be set further behind. The good news was he's picked up his Arcane Boots and bought an Iron Branch, so he's not going to lose too much gold in that trade-off. However, you still don't want to give away a kill to their opposing mid-hero, or at all. So now Clockwork's got the bottle, he's got his boots in the stash, and now he's level 6. It's where you want to be as a Clockwork. Once you have that hook shot, it's a very potent spell. And at least for Phoenix Gaming, they did get that top tower, so they're gonna get that bonus 200 gold to all their fellow heroes. In mid, oh not in mid, in the jungle, Alchemist is just farming up all these crit waves. He's got a double stack here, and gold's just gonna skyrocket from all the Graven. Oh, he's gonna lose his Chemical Rage. Doesn't mean he's going to lose all the gold he's going to get from that. So he got about 500 gold from 630 gold from those 2 stacks as he bought something on that courier, which is fine to him now. Maybe. No, he didn't. My mistake. I'm just going crazy. Oh, he is, and they're somewhere. Where are we? Yeah, that is his stuff. What am I talking about? So he does have some stuff flying into him from the courier. He'll be picking up his power treads, picks up the Gloves of Haste, and he'll be going for his Midas. Most likely. He's going for a heavy farm build. Even though you wouldn't want Midas past the 10-minute mark on average, he's got the money, he wants to spend it. And on top lane, Weaver. Don't know what Weaver was up to that far out of the game. Trying to find off a kill on the Jakiro. He almost gets it, but traded it for his life, going towards that Gyrocopter. So Gyrocopter's going to be happily take that. He's got a Shadow Amulet, and he will almost have his Shadow Blade very shortly. Once he has that Shadow Blade, he's going to be more potent. It's going to be harder to kill. He's going to force the Revelation Wards to come out by the side of Sequential Gaming, or they won't be getting a kill anytime soon. So Clockwork's got to be careful. He's almost out of position. He's going to start rotating back. He almost knows they're coming. Can they get the cocktail off on him? They're going to throw the acid thing down. Come in, Vendetta, stun, and we got a dead Clockwork. Nothing he could do about it, unless he had those cogs. He had cogs, so he could have used his cogs, and he would have been fine, but would have been a bit of a misplay coming out by that Clockwork. Not going to be able to get those cogs off and running. So he will fall to this potent tri-lane of Sequential Gaming. So now we've got a mid lane. RP is going to whiff. Queen of Pain's going to pick up another kill. She's got that Orchid Malevolence. She did use that to find a kill. Jakiro throwing off that ice wall in the middle of nowhere with Queen of Pain walking away like nothing ever happened. Did she manage to pick up a rune? No, she didn't. Rune already got picked up, so she would have picked that up earlier. She had the invisibility rune, so that's how she ganked that Magnus. So this Gyrocopter is falling behind. He's at 5k, Alchemist at 9k. What I'd like to also see from the support of Phoenix Gaming Phoenix eSports, sorry about that, would be some stacking of this hard camp for them, for the gyrocopter. Gyrocopter is falling behind. If you can start stacking some camps for him, that flat cannon will help him catch up in no time. Especially since these supports aren't quite sure where they're going at the moment. They're rotating backwards and forwards between lanes. They have had their time to be able to stack some of these camps for that gyrocopter to help him keep up with the game. Because gyrocopter, he's one of those heroes that can win a game almost single-handedly. If you're losing by too far, you pick up Divine Rapier, you win the game, or you lose it substantially. He's just one of those heroes with that flat cannon that can turn the tide of any game. And that's why so many people like him. And now down on bottom lane we have the Nyx Assassin fall into the tower, and the Clockwork and Disruptor will get those kills. Now they're going to be searching for this Rubik. Rubik's going to run through the rain. He's caught in between. Great skewer, but they've just put him on the high ground. Is he going to be able to get around here? He might deny himself to his neutrals. Can he deny himself in time? And he does deny to himself to the neutral. So the skewer goes just a little too far and gives that kill off to the neutrals. They're going to be happy to take that. Queen of Pain now looking for that rune. Does pick up that rune. So even though the three heroes of Phoenix eSports, once again, I apologize, Phoenix eSports were down here, they were rotating through and they weren't paying attention to that rune spawn. Now Queen of Pain has that double damage. They know Queen of Pain's around here. Queen of Pain should know they're here with that ward here. So now Queen of Pain's looking for that kill. She's found the Magnus. She's silenced him. She's got that Sonic up in a few seconds, but the auto attacks will be enough to take down that Magnus. A rocket's coming through. She's going to blink. She's going to be out of there. Vendetta, Nyx Assassin is coming through. He's going to try and find a pick-off, but Streamline is rightfully backing off. So it's not looking too good for Phoenix at the moment. They still have a chance in this game. You always have a chance with an RP, with an Ice Wall, and that flat cannon. So we have the Vendetta coming through. We Scream of Pain and final auto attack of that Nyx Assassin, picking off that gyrocopter. So once again, the mobility of Sequential Gaming with that Queen of Pain and the invisibility of the Vendetta is just too much for Phoenix to deal with at the moment. Down at bottom lane, we still have the Clockwork down here. Alchemist, Warrax is still farming through the jungle, so he didn't pick up that minus as I thought. He does go for that Maelstrom, so he's going for that damage and attack speed, which is a lot more favourable, especially since it was past the 13-minute mark, as when I saw him pick up that Gloves of Haste. So I don't think this Alchemist at the moment is going to be quite unstoppable. He's got more than the entire Phoenix Gaming have put together, and he's just going to keep farming up. We might see him one day appear from the jungle, and when he does appear from the jungle, Phoenix Gaming, they're going to have a really rough time dealing with him. So he does show off, he does have that Maelstrom up and running, and now Phoenix Gaming will be shivering, because if he chemical rages and he goes up against you, you're in a lot of trouble. He's going to be hitting hard, hitting fast, and he's going to most likely be getting those RNG procs. So now they're going to be taking down this bottom tier 1 tower. We've got Magnus who thought about rotating down. He does have that TP up and running. His blink won't be up for another. The rate they're going 7 minutes, so he's not going to have his blink up for a while. We have an illusion rune at top rune being spotted out for this Nyx Assassin. Queen of Pain will clean this wave up and then go towards picking up that rune. She doesn't, however, have a bottle anymore. It's on the courier. So she's, I don't know. I guess I could just pick up the rune because they don't need it much anymore. I mean, having an illusion rune is still helpful, but it's not that much of a necessity at this current stage in the game. So up at top lane, we'll have a look at our Gyrocopter's farm. He's got a Shadow Blade. It doesn't have anything on the courier, so Gyrocopter is their one remaining hope. If he does one more time, this game will probably most likely be over for Phoenix. He needs whatever he can get at the moment. He's doing his own double stacking, which is kind of disheartening to see. They did finally double stack down here, which is going to be useful. That's about 150, 300, 500 gold for the Gyrocopter just sitting there. If the Alchemist doesn't come through and ninja it himself. Gyrocopter's playing very defensively. He's not sure where the enemy heroes of Sequential Gaming are. They are currently all off the map except for that Queen of Pain who showed herself mid and this Weaver. The other three heroes, which are the two supports which you're worried about, and that Alchemist who could appear at any time and just start raping, which is a terrible word to use, but it's something that could happen. It will happen eventually. Unless he can get brilliantly chained down with Phoenix's play. So that would be an RP with the silence and Ice Wall come flying through with the cooldown. So Phoenix Gaming, they still have it, but it needs to be perfect. They can still bring this game back. And that's what we want to see. So the mid tower does go down for Sequential Gaming, so they're going to be happy to pick up more gold on these heroes. We do see a death instantly killing off that Jakiro being out of position. The Chemical Rage, just too much to deal with. That health, he's already got 1.9k health at 20-minute mark. He's going to be working towards his Shadow Blade, and he's got a Mizonya. That's harsh at this stage of the game. That's a lot of gold. What's his GPM? 712 GPM. So he's had constant free farm, lots of stacking, lots of jungling, and he's been able to skyrocket his farm. So he's one happy goblin. I think he's a goblin or ogre. One happy ogre. Up at top lane, the Weaver will most likely get this tower down. There's nothing, even, don't believe there will be TP supports coming in from Phoenix. They're just going to let this tower fall. They can't fight it. At this stage of the game, I'm not quite sure what Phoenix can do. The only thing I can suggest would be to group up as 5. And now Alchemist is coming in. He's going for the team. They're going to skewer him. RP is not going to be popped, so this Disruptor will fall shortly after. No glimpse to follow to get him away. And Alchemist is going to find 2 kills. So, a little bit of... what's it called? That word. I can't think of the word. It's like, oh crap, there's a hero and then you'll run. Shock. They were a little bit of shock, so they didn't cast the spells they should have, such as the RP or the Disrupt, the Glimpse to get him back. And I want to see 3 heroes fall on Phoenix eSports. They will lose the Rubik, but they'll happily trade 2 heroes for that Rubik. Especially since the kills are going to that Alchemist. He's going to pick up another attack speed item. Is going to be working towards that Assault Cuirass. So he's going to be attacking at max attack speed very soon. He's already level 17, so he's got level 3 up in that Chemical Rage. And just look at that tower melt. Going down. Tier 2 tower on top lane fallen, Tier 2 mid and Tier 2 bottom. So they've got all the map position they want. If they wanted to, they could rotate into the Roshan pit. With that acid spray reducing the armor of Roshan and the attack speed of this Alchemist, they could easily take down Roshan in a matter of seconds. Phoenix Gaming, yeah, once again, they need to stay as a group of 5 and they can win it as a group of 5. They're not currently sitting together or working together. A little bit of an uncohesive group at the moment. So, hopefully they do pick up their game a little bit. You'd love to see them pull off a perfect combo and wipe out Sequential Gaming. That's what I want to see. I want to see a fantastic combination come out by these guys. Magnus is sitting 400 gold off being able to pick up, oh actually 500 gold off picking up that blink. Once he has that blink, that's another fantastic tool to help bring them back into this game. So they are sitting an uncontrollably amount of gold out ahead. I've never seen that amount of gold or XP in a game going in favor of Side. They're going to pick up this Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter's going to Shadow Blade out. Great silence, great RP, 3 deaths. Sonic Wave come find out. They do pick off 4, so that's a bit unfortunate. Clockwork not being able to hold that Queen of Pain in. That was what you wanted to see by Phoenix Gaming. Unfortunately, Alchemist is just too strong. He's got too much health, got too much damage, and was able to just turn around and fight that off. So even with the perfect combination, they didn't have the Ice Path, but next to perfect combination, they still can't quite fight Sequential Gaming. Sequential Gaming is just a little bit too strong for them at the moment. Or throughout the entire game. Just little things that Phoenix have been doing a little bit wrong. One of the things with stacking up top would have helped the Gyrocopter out quite a bit, keeping this Weaver behind. Weaver has not been... Quaid hasn't been effective at this game at all. To be completely blunt, Quaid 0-3 with 4 assists. He's got the XP, but that's all he got this game. It's all been this Alchemist, Queen of Pain, and the supports. They've done their role perfectly. You're going to see the skewer just missing that Rubik from the fountain. No RP up, but he does have that Blink Dagger. Queen of Pain now has his Scythe and she's using it to her advantage, and the GG gets caught by Captain Kirk. So Sequential Gaming played that fantastically. We're able to get a lot of gold, a lot of stacking going on the way for Works. Works was able to just farm. He had, at the end of the game, 880 gold in his name. So the support of Sequential Gaming able to help him rack up all that gold, keep going, and they just snowballed with the win with that alchemist. Yeah. Now we're just waiting for this throne to die, because I love watching thrones die. I mean, one day I hope it does get updated with like more explosions. I want like Steven Spielberg explosions here. I think it's Steven Spielberg that does the explosion. Oh no, it's something Bay. Michael Bay. I want Michael Bay of explosions. Just imagine this thing explode as a Michael Bay film. And the particles everywhere. That'd be a beautiful sight. Anyway, I have been Dota Yoshi. Thank you for watching another Dota presentation. Have a good one.